Woo! I tell you what, my editor skills are still lacking. Hey, everybody. My name is Linda Murray Bullitt. They call me the business plug. This evening, I am so excited. I am so excited about this evening because I know this. I am so driven by. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We'll talk about it. But before we get there, let me tell you about a couple of things. So, housekeeping things. So, if you have a small business and you're trying to get funding, like you're trying to figure out how do I get to my next $5,000, $100,000, whatever. You're trying to figure out how to get your business funded. Then you need to be in the room with me next Saturday at 2:00 p.m. There's a there's an event on Eventbrite called How to Fund Your Small Business, how to get funding for your small business. I am partnering with my girl, Patrice Malloy, and we are going to teach you the financial part and the business part step by step. Like we're doing it because she's the tax strategist, and I'm the business strategist, and we have both have a common problem. Our problem is our businesses are saying, I don't have access to capital. And we know for a fact we have clients that are getting money. And so we have come together to put our tools together in order to help small businesses get to the funding. Like we have proven records of our clients get paid. They get paid. So we're trying to get everybody paid that wants to get paid. So we want to remove that I don't have access to capital. We know that is not the case. We need to prepare you so that you can receive capital. And that's what we're doing next Saturday, 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Eventbrite has the tickets and the link, and it's wherever you're watching this video, the link to those tickets is in this video. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is I am bringing back First Fridays. And I'm doing it two ways. So this time, like the last time, I'm doing it both virtually and in person. So if you are wanting to meet with me in person, get an in-person ticket. If you're trying to meet with me virtually, because I know this is a global audience and my global people are like, hey, what about us? So I heard you. I heard you. You can get a virtual ticket where you can join the Zoom and spend time with us October the 7th. I can tell you this. One of the other questions that the things I hear from small businesses is, I don't know how to market my business. I don't know what my target customers are. So that the tune for October the 6th is marketing. We're going to teach you how to market your business. And the thing about both of these sessions is you're going to get actionable step-by-step instructions that will help you to get to the money. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help small businesses get to the money. Now that's all the housekeeping stuff. We're done. Now it is my honor and my pleasure to introduce to you my new sister. We're actually part of Cornell University graduates of the Women's Entrepreneurship Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Emily Woodson-Nance. Hey, Emily.
Hey, Linda. It's such a pleasure to be on the business plug.
I love
And
it.
I don't know, I had a big face. I was like smiling when I heard about all the events that you have coming up. And the first one, I just have to say this before I introduce myself and go into everything. When you start talking about funding, the first thing I thought about was that Jerry Maguire movie when Cuba Gooding Jr. said, "Show me the money." So you guys are getting ready to show.
We're gonna show the money.
You're gonna show us the
Between Patrice
money
and
how
me,
to get to it.
we're trying to show them how to get to the money because we understand that if you have a small business, you need money. Like you need money. Okay,
Right.
bartering is good and bartering still works, but at the end of the day, small businesses need access to capital. And what we found to be a commonality between her out west and me in the southeast is that small businesses are not getting the money because they're not ready to get it. And so we want to position them to
Mhm.
get funding. We're going to position them to make more money, to get more customers. We're going to tell them the whole thing. So the marketing thing is my event by itself, but Patrice is going to be online. I mean, we're going to get this thing. It's all online, so it doesn't matter where they are in the world. We are doing it online. It's a virtual class, and we're going to teach people step by step. You can ask questions. We even have a VIP ticket for them, Emily, where is
Oh,
if
wow.
they want to spend time with one of us, either her or me, they can get the whole VIP experience and actually schedule time for us to do some one-on-one with them.
Oh, Absolutely wonderful.
We're
So,
trying to make it happen.
oh, you're making it happen. So I'm just happy to be here. And for everyone out there, I am Emily Woodman-Nance. I'm the CEO and co-founder of At Their Side. And At Their Side is a 24/7 healthcare status platform that enables healthcare providers to communicate with families. And I'm always asked, it's like, why did you start it? How did it get started? And I started, I have like my story, but you know what? What came up for me, I had an epiphany that my story actually started as a child.
Mm.
I always had a love and affinity for seniors,
Aw.
taking care of them, loving them. I even
Aw.
remember when I was 6 years old and I wrote an essay. And the number one thing that I wanted to do when I grew up was to take care of my parents. So that
Aw.
always has been something important to me, is taking care of my elders, my seniors,
Yeah,
and just loving on them because they're so important to us, and they need that love and that
absolutely.
care. So it became natural for me as for starting At Their Side, because I did have, like, my mother-in-law was in a skilled nursing facility over 2,000 miles away.
Mm.
We did have family over there, but we were still challenged with getting updates because families can only do so much, and they're trying
Yeah.
to manage that. And I have a technical and engineering background. I have
Love it.
experience delivering technical solutions. So it inspired me to create At Their Side.
I love
And the reason why, and then you like the name At Their Side. And the reason why I came up with At Their Side, because I felt no matter whether you're around the corner or 3,000 miles away, with At Their Side, you'll be right there
at
at
this
their side.
time.
It
I love
just doesn't
it. I
matter.
love it.
It doesn't
It
matter.
makes sense though. I mean, it's practical because I was telling you, I was my brother's his conservative for 29 years.
Mhm,
And I delivered his medicines every month. I took him to the store every month. Like I made sure I because he lived in another part of town. He was 10 miles away. But he
mhm,
still is another part of town. And I didn't want to disconnect and let him think he was somewhere and I had forgotten all about him, right? So I made sure I did things to keep let him know that I'm still here, right?
mhm.
Because that's important.
It's very important. And Linda, you know what you brought up for me? Um, Remember I said I wrote that essay about taking care of my parents. I was actually living on the East Coast
Mm.
in Maryland,
Okay,
in
okay.
Maryland, and we had like a family event, and I saw how my dad looked, and he didn't look too good to me. He lived in California,
Mm.
so I went on the Family Medical Leave Act, and then I just quit my job because I felt
Mm.
it was important for me to take care of my dad.
I
And
get it.
from that, things turned out really well. So,
I
like
get
I
it.
said, I just feel like it's in me, and it's like my mission. and
I
and I'm like driven, and I know there's so many people out there in the same situation, like right now, caring for someone that they love for,
yeah.
and not getting that information that they would love to get from, like, the facility or
Yeah,
the staff that are taking care of their loved one. So that's why I felt this communication is important, because now they can get that information they want from the healthcare staff, like at their fingertips with
I
their
love
phone.
it. I
You
love
know?
and yeah, and we were talking because if by them updating those records and making it where you can stay in tune with what's going on, you can have real life conversations with your loved one about, oh, I saw that you went to a park. Oh, I saw that you're not feeling well today. Talk to me about that. Like it's like being there. It's like being at their side.
Right, right there at their
I
side.
love
And
it.
plus you build a better communication with the actual staff that's taking care of your loved one. So it's like more of a coordinated
Yeah,
care situation that's going on. Because you may be able to tell them, oh, well, the reason why they're not doing this is because XYZ, or they really do love to paint, or you could tell them different things, and have
exactly.
that communication right there, and you're not interrupting. Yeah, you're not like interrupting the healthcare staff at that moment, because they're
Right.
trying to give your loved one that focus, and they don't have to focus on the phone. Instead, you could ask questions, and at a coordinated time they can respond and things of that sort. And everybody's like happy. You got that peace of mind because you got the information you need. Your loved ones being taken care of, and then the staff, they have the time to actually concentrate on your
Right.
loved one and give them the quality of care and life that you want so much.
And I think of it as a care circle, right?
Mhm.
Because you're closing the loop in the care circle. Because I can remember, I used to have to call and check on my brother. Like, how is he doing today? What's going on with him? Like, because my brother had mental issues, there were times he would hide his pills and not take them. And so they would start seeing, erratic behavior that wasn't common for him. And I was able to, by them calling, hey, we found him in a car today, or hey, we found this or that and the other. And I knew it wasn't his normal character, right? And so it kept me in the loop of what's going on. And I can imagine having that, like I could respond to them in real time. And
Right.
so, and quicker, because like when you're having to be the breadwinner of your house, you're trying to take care of your house and you're still trying to do for your loved one as well. You have to juggle those responsibilities. And so I can see this being like an answer to a lot of people who really need to manage their time well and still stay connected to their loved one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I know, working with At Their Side, I've talked to staff, I've talked to family members, and one family member, they didn't have this communication, and
Mm.
their loved one was in a facility. They didn't find out to 24 hours that their loved one had been transported to the hospital, and by the
Oh,
time they got there, their loved one had passed away. And it's
mm-mm,
like, really?
mm-mm,
But
mm-mm.
with our technology, they could actually do a push notification. They could be notified
Yeah,
immediately instead
yeah.
of like 24 hours later, and then you
Oh
can't even
no, oh
properly
no.
say goodbye to your loved one.
Absolutely. And I can remember my brother, God rest his soul. I can remember when he passed, I had very good relationship with the executive director. So shout out to you, Kendra, because you really kept me abreast of Ed. But I remember her calling and said he didn't come down for breakfast, and he had already passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine them calling me the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that would have torn my heart all the way to shreds.
Oh,
But that, but
absolutely.
that's the thing is, you need to, as the caretaker for your loved ones, like having conversations and saying, hey, have you all heard of At Their Side? Have you heard of this? Because it's an opportunity to introduce a mode of communication for you and for your healthcare providers and for your loved ones. And I like when we were talking before, I was saying, you can say, oh, I saw that you went to the park today. How did you enjoy that? And them knowing that, oh, you're keeping up with me, like that has to make them feel better.
Yeah, that'll make them feel better. And then you could also see, how much of their food did they eat. And we're like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, you sure did have a hearty appetite for dinner. And then you could see the menu and be like, oh, okay, I guess why. That was a good, oh, yeah, that was a good meal that they served you. So just
Yeah.
having that capability. And what's good also about Out Their Side, even if your loved one isn't like in a facility, they could be at home and you have
Mm,
someone taking care of them because you have home care providers. At Their Side could be used for that too. It could be used for hospice care, respite
mm.
care. There's so many applications that it could be used for.
I love that. I love that. It's being there when you can't be there, right?
Correct.
It's still
Correct.
being there. I love that. So how did okay? So you came up with this because of your father and your in-law and your experience, right? And so your background is in tech engineering, and you just thought of this is something I can create on my own.
Yeah, because I've spent so many years in technology. I could actually tell you it started when I was in high school. I took my first programming class. I fell in love with it. I did research. I'm like, okay, can I make the money that I want to make? Because I want to live a certain way. I
Yeah,
said, I
yeah,
want to live wherever I want to live. And
absolutely.
I'm like, oh, I could be creative. I could help a lot of people. And I said, that's what I'm going to major in. And then I had the opportunity to get some engineering training also. And so I've always been like developing
Hmm.
tech tech solutions for different organizations, and I just loved it. And when I got into that situation with my mother-in-law, I was like, you know what? Why can't I create this?
I know it. I
It's
love
like,
that.
okay, let's just make it happen.
I love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. I have a granddaughter who's just gotten her degree in engineering.
Mhm.
And so hopefully you'll come up with some solution that helps to make her life better. But to use that, because there's not a lot of women. Let's talk about that.
Oh my goodness. You see how when I think about not a lot of women, just put it this way. When I went to college, okay, there was only two women in my major, and I was the only
Aw.
black female. And well, I was the only black in the major. Once I got to corporate America, because I started out in corporate America, I was the only black. I was the only sometimes I was only only female, and I was the only black female. So I was like carrying all the bricks, representing all the blacks, representing all the women, and then sometimes representing all the black women, because I'm like, I felt like, no, this is how I made sure that I was so sharp. I made sure that I was sharp. Like if you slap me at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll be able to do whatever. Technology and engineering wise, I was ready to go. I would be able to answer whatever question, fix
Wow.
whatever bug. And I did that. And I was like, and then I was able to open the door for more women that look like me and people of color to actually get into those positions, because I'm
Wow.
like, I'm going to make sure I represent, so when they say, Emily, do you know someone, I can actually bring
Yeah.
someone in there. So yeah. And even now, being in the owner of a tech company and having a technical background, when I interact with other tech entrepreneurs
Hmm.
who happen to be men, instead of asking me about my strategy, what's going on with the company, they want to test me on my technical aptitude, and they're asking me technical questions, and I used to answer that, at the very beginning, and then I would say, you know what, I I'll let my CTO can answer that. So let me give you his information. Because I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm the CEO, because I noticed they didn't do that with the other
Other CEO,
counterparts that
right,
didn't look like me. But for
right.
me, and I'm like, why am I getting a test? Why do I need to know all this technical stuff, at
Just to see if you know
the
your stuff.
little
I know
minute
it.
level, at the
I,
minute level.
I get it. I get, you know what? And that's the thing, is because I get business questions on that same level. Like I do business strategies. And so, when people, I have clients actually who are female entrepreneurs doing amazing things in the world. And they talk to me about being in rooms where people will go to their staff thinking that their staff is the CEO, just bypass them and go to their staff. But I get business questions, I get financial questions, or something about, well, what do you think about the lead magnet? Well, what do you think about, all these different things? And I'm like, whatever. But like you, I'd be like, you know what? I play the game to play the game, but I've been
Yeah.
doing this for over 30 years, so baby, that's not a question you can ask that I won't have an answer to. So
Right, right. Well, what I've decided to do with that, Linda, I've decided to just refer them to my CTO. If you want to
absolutely.
talk strategy and things of that sort, and what's going on in the industry, things like that, we could talk about that. But as
Yeah.
far as like low level technical type things, what language and all,
Oh
different things
yeah,
like this. What platform are you using? You
Hams and
know, I
Spam and
don't,
Sam and
I don't need.
I love it. I love it.
What integrations, encryption software you use. Come on now. You can talk to my CTO about
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so it's been interesting, being a, a a black female, a black woman, um, working, well, not working, actually pushing at their side and being the face of at their side. But with me, I've learned how to be resilient in the
Yeah.
face of adversity.
Oh yeah.
So I don't sweat it. I keep pushing, I keep moving on because I see the bigger picture, and I'm focused. I keep my eye on the prize, what my strategy is and what I'm trying to do. And what I'm trying to do is give family members peace of mind and the
Mm,
information they need to make informed decisions. And I'm giving healthcare staff that time that they need to really focus on
mm.
providing care to people's loved ones so they can have the best quality of care in life. So that's what I'm locked in
I
on.
heard you. I heard
Everything
you.
else, my CTO and whoever else can handle that. I'm locked in on that.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely fabulous. I love it because, and that's the thing. So a lot of high schoolers follow me.
Mhm.
So if they were wanting to get into the tech engineering industry,
Mhm.
like I know math, right?
Mhm.
Math is prerequisite, but what are some other things they can do or some other groups they need to be on the lookout for?
I I advise all of them, they need to just take a programming class. I think
Mm,
it's so important because with tech and engineering, it's all about problem solving, critical thinking, analytical skills, and you're going to get that with programming.
programming. Yeah.
Yeah, and then with math, you learn math. It's when you think about math, because people are like, oh, I'm so scared of math. All it is a building block. You keep
I
building
tell them,
and building and
yes,
building. So for all you high school students, math is easy. It's just a building
it's a
block.
bit.
Think about Legos. Think about Legos. You got to have your your foundation there. Otherwise, it topple over or whatever. You want to have that, and you just build. And if you have issues with math, it's not you, it could actually be the teacher. Get somebody who could help you and explain it in the way that you understand it. And sometimes it's that student next to you, someone that you're at school.
Absolutely,
So it's
and
like that peer to peer.
absolutely. I do the same thing. I teach a GED math class, and one of my strategies is, they go to the board and work out problems, and we work out problems as a community. And there are times I give them the book explanation, but then I also give them the latitude where another student who can probably put it in words they understand can come and walk through it and say, "Oh, what she's saying is this." And I found it to be very helpful.
Oh,
Is
it's
that
very helpful.
yeah,
It's
it's
very
yeah,
helpful,
because
Linda.
we've been sitting in all these classes and we know all these big words, right? And and those big words don't break down for everybody. They don't break down to everyone. So my students, they have been angels. I don't know what I'm gonna do when they graduate, but they I don't know what I'm gonna do. Get some more, I guess. But they are very, very, very community minded, and they want to make sure that the whole class goes at the same time. Like their dream goal is that at next graduation, everyone sitting in my class now gets to walk across the stage together.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
Isn't it? I
beautiful.
know it. And I have to tell them, but you're talking about 6 years of math,
Hmm.
and we do it an hour and 30 minutes a day,
Hmm.
Monday through Thursday. I'm telling you, some are good, some are not so good. So it's a challenge, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We're all in it together.
They're in it together. That's what's going to help, because you made me think, like, when I was in middle school and high school, I used to be a tutor, like
Mm,
peer-to-peer tutor. They
yeah.
had it set up in our school that way. And what's so funny, it's like decades later, I ran into someone that I had tutored. I forgot all about it. And he said, Emily, I I I have told my kids about you. They know about you,
Aw.
that you are the one that helped me with math. It was, geometry, because
Woo,
some students, based upon how the teachers teach it, some students can't get it. And
woo.
he said he never forgot that, because he went on and he was able to take advanced math with no
Mm.
problem and everything. And he said he remembers me tutoring him.
Oh
So
wow,
they're
that's
gonna
my
remember
thing.
you too, Linda,
Absolutely. You know,
and in
I
the
love,
community, and the
yeah.
community setup that you have with the
Yeah,
for the
yeah, trying
kids.
to make community. I've been a choir director, have been a choir director for a number of years, and the babies that I had back then that were like, preteen and teens and whatever, they're like in their 40s and grandparents now.
Hmm.
And they still remember, like every now and then one of them will kick back to me a youth message that I gave back in the golden ages. They would say, Miss Linda, do you remember? But I love teaching. Like you, I started at 8. So at 8 years old, my mom told me I needed to teach my sister her spelling words. My sister's 2 years older than me.
Hmm.
And I had to teach her spelling words so she could make good spelling tests. And that's where that kicked in, that I was a teacher. Like I love doing it. First of all, I'm bossy and I like being in control.
There you have it.
So that skill set kind of played early.
Yeah, see, there you have it. And it's still ingrained with you.
Yeah.
So it just goes back to me, like my love for taking care of the seniors and
Yeah.
loving on them, deeply ingrained in me. And that's why there's at their side. It's like a natural evolution. And I don't know if you could tell, I get excited when I
I
talk
love it.
about
Oh
this,
yeah.
because
Definitely. And
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
am
girl,
so
yeah.
passionate about I'm so passionate about it,
I
because
love
it's
that though. It's
so needed
needed.
and it's so
It's
important. And
needed.
it's
And it
like
is important.
these facilities need to have it. So that's what needs to happen, because in order for family members to get it, the facilities have to subscribe to at
Mm,
their side, because we need them to buy in, because they have to release the information and everything,
right,
and
right.
do
PHI,
it.
right?
So we need, yeah,
Yeah.
so we need that. So it's like, you need to tell your facilities, we need at their side immediately, and even your
Yeah,
home care providers, we need at their side immediately, and get
exactly.
at their side out there.
Absolutely. And so I have business owners who and decision makers who are following me on LinkedIn and on
Mhm.
Facebook and on this will go to Instagram later. But if you're watching this, if you're on my YouTube channel, or if I have a lot of sitters, private sitters, and people that work in the healthcare field. Like that's a conversation that would really up level a assisted living facility, a home health facility. Like if you're working in those industries, you can go in and act you're smart and say, guess what I learned?
Mhm.
You can go in and say, hey, I learned at your side, at their side is out, and we need to put that here. That could be a whole competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
That really could.
Mhm.
Because people who want to you don't want to put your loved one in a facility and just forget they're there. That's no, we're not doing that. So this helps us to stay connected,
Mhm.
and then to see that it's a black female entrepreneur is just icing on that cake right there. Because I love women in tech. I love women in tech. I do. I Because I don't get to see a lot of STEM women. Like there's a school here. I'm in Chattanooga,
Mhm.
Tennessee, and there
Mhm.
is a school here that teaches girls programming and coding
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
they're in high school. And so I love that because there's not enough women in that field. They're just not.
There really isn't. And my daughter fought it for the longest. She's like, I'm not gonna do that like everybody else, because her brother he's into tech.
Okay.
And she's like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be an attorney. So when she was in high school, she was in dual enrollment, taking all these law classes. Then all of a sudden, it's like in 11th grade or so, she started getting into technology, because she's like, they don't have a game that I like. I'm gonna create my own game. So she made her own game and stuff. And
Yeah, I
so
love it.
Yes, so she's a senior in college and she's going to graduate with a cybersecurity degree. So it's like, so she she already feels it. She's already seen it. There's only like two women
Mm-hmm.
in the cybersecurity major, and
Mm-hmm.
there's no blacks, and she's the only black. So I tell her, that's
Hey,
how it's gonna be. So I'm like, at least you're seeing it in school, and just know as you move around, it may be that way, but you need
represent.
to
Represent.
continue, yeah, pay it for it. Let's get more in there, and yeah.
I like it. I like it. My middle son is very tech. He was just telling me. I think he's found his niche in digital marketing.
Oh.
Yeah, and so but I can remember he applied. We worked together at an insurance company, and I remember he had a job interview, but he's not academic. He doesn't like academics at all. Never have. But he has an innate talent that God has given him, and he created a board game for the interview
Mm.
to show them that he had tech skills.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, "Well, that's pretty cool, but we want you to have a degree,
Oh.
at least at least a 2 year degree." I know now that may not even be a prerequisite for the
Mhm.
level that he was trying, because it was an entry level position.
Oh, okay.
But
Uh-huh.
I know now that may not even be a prerequisite. But back then, that was their way of screening.
Right, right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but see, he showed creativity and
yeah,
everything with
yeah,
that. So that's what it's all about when it comes to this technology, just being creative. And some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be a dreamer or whatever." It's like dream, and
dream is
you can make it come to fruition. I'm
yeah,
serious. That's one of the things that I liked about technology engineering, because it's like a hard science, and it's like there's a reason why it's not working, or you can get it to work. It's like if you believe it, you can achieve it. So
yeah,
it's like, let's figure it out. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and not to, well, I will date myself.
But that no, but that's okay, because I call myself a STEM grandma, right? Because I have great
Okay.
grandkids. Okay, but my degree, so my MBA came in 2017, and
Uh-huh.
it has emphasis on data analysis.
Oh,
Yeah, so
huge. That's very important at this time.
yeah, so I say I'm a nerd, but I love being nerdish. I mean, I love
Yeah.
just trivia and all kind of things, and data. I really really like. I was not a fan of math before I started this course with these people,
Uh-huh.
but I love sifting through data. I've always loved to dig and research. Like, I always loved research. And so
Mhm.
I love that I'm able to look at data and see it differently, and can tell the stories that the data tells. Like, that's my favorite part of business plan writing, is I get to tell what the data says.
Oh, wow. I love it. I get all excited. I strive every day to learn something new. I just love learning. That's
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I live to learn. There's so much things out there, and just to improve things. That's
yeah.
all I've always been into. They always talk about process improvement,
Mm-hmm.
and I thrive on that, and that's what I've always done. And again, that's where at their side is. We got to improve this process where we're have more effective communication. And like you said, let's have that circle where
Yeah,
we have the the um the healthcare staff, and we
yeah.
have the family member, and right there we have your dear loved one
I
that
know.
that deserves the best quality of life and care.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
I wish I could give all the seniors like a big hug.
I
I'm one
love
of them. I don't know. I just, even when I see them, TV, wherever, I don't know. I just love it. And I even told my husband, I'm like, when you get that salt and pepper,
it. I know it.
you're like even more attractive. You're gonna be even more attractive. I don't know. It's just something it's something
Because
about it.
speaking of your husband's in technology.
He sure is. He
Yeah.
sure is. My husband is in technology. He he actually has an engineering degree. He has a cybersecurity degree. He's like he's Mr. Degree. So just know, like with at their side, we're like locked down.
I know it. I know it.
so,
That's fascinating. That is
so
wonderful.
yeah, so yeah, everything's I feel like truly blessed. Like
I'm sure.
I'm really blessed, and I just want to help other people and to give people what they really need on the
Absolutely.
healthcare side and on the side of the family.
Yes, yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. So as we wrap this up, so give us a couple of minutes of what you want the takeaway to be from this interview.
Okay, I can definitely do that. You said I have a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, don't give Emily the stage or the
No,
mic. She
yeah,
likes to get
you're
over.
good. You're good. This is for you. You are good.
Yes. Okay, what I want everyone to take away, if you didn't already get it, and I break it down to the simplest terms, that at their side is your means to stay connected with your loved one. It's a communication platform where the healthcare providers can communicate updates about your loved one. It's the actual platform where you could ask them questions. And what I want you to know is at their side is available, and we just need you to go to your healthcare providers and let them know about at their side and tell them you need to subscribe, because it's going to help them save time and have more time to provide care for your loved one and to provide that quality of care and life that your loved one deserves, plus giving you that peace of mind, because it's very important to have a peace of mind, especially when your loved one isn't right there with you. Just having that peace of mind that your loved one is being cared for, and also having that information, that timely information to make informed decisions, and just to know your loved one is in good hands and that the staff are not overwhelmed with a lot of calls. So again, just go there, tell your facility, you got to have that at their side. And Linda, I just have one other thing to
Sure,
say.
go right ahead.
No matter whether you're around the corner or 2,000 miles away, with at their side, where are you going to be? No matter where you are,
I
you're
love it.
always at their side.
I love
So
it.
remember that.
I love it. I love it. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And today I have plugged you in to At Their Side, which is a communication application for your loved ones to help you stay connected, whether what you say 2 miles away or 2,000 miles away.
Hmm.
I love it. I love it. So we'll see you next Sunday here on the Business Plugs Mixer, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here where you're seeing it. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and share the broadcast. If you know someone whose family, whose loved ones are in some type of facility, go ahead and push this to them in their messenger or wherever you can send it for their email so that they can get this information that's going to help them stay connected. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the Business Plugs Mixer. Have a great week, everyone.